regional variants for the Galar region have been confirmed. So, I came up with an extremely original video idea, making a list of the 10 Galarian forms that I would most like to see when the new games come out. This idea is kind of a spin on the top 10 Alolan form videos that were appearing everywhere when they were announced for Sun and Moon. But this video idea I thought of all by myself. Now, one interesting thing about Galarian forms compared to Alolan forms is that they're not exclusive to the first generation of Pokemon, meaning that almost any past generation Pokemon could potentially be receiving a Galarian form, and maybe even a new evolution with a new form. So, here is my list for the 10 Galarian forms that I would most like to see in Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Let's take a look. Starting off the list, it's Galarian Pawniard and Bishop. Now, the origins of these two Pokemon are apparently of a traditional Japanese bandit, or kaijin, basically humanoid villains found in Japanese monster movies. However, their English names look to be related to chess pieces, being the pawn and the bishop. So I figured giving these two more royal looks, I feel would make them fit even more into the Galar region. And the designs I've come up with for Galarian Pawniard and Bishop is this. I also designed a potential Galarian evolution that looks like this. I call it Rookieyard. As you can see, this line's design is clearly based on a Queen's Guard, which you can find at Buckingham Palace in the UK. I would also give them a steel fighting typing, since, well, if you're going to be a Guard of the Queen, you better know how to fight. And since Galar is based in the UK, I think these designs will be very fitting, which is why they're number 10 on this list. And number 9? It's Galarian Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a fair share of lily pads in the UK, but I think giving this line something a bit more recognisable would make them stand out a lot more in the Galar region. So for their Galarian designs, I went with this. As you can see, I've given them a tea party theme, where the evolution starts as a saucer, which goes to a cuppa, and then to a full-on kettle. I think since we're replacing the plant life on this line, a water-fire typing would be perfect, where, similar to Volcanion, it would shoot hot water, or, in this case, a hot, different kind of liquid that us Brits like to drink. Tea. They would shoot tea, which would be awesome. Number 8. Galarian Castform. Now this is an interesting one. So the regular version of Castform is going to look the same. However, the weather forms are what's going to be different. So instead of the weather forms looking like this, they're going to look like this. As you can see, we have a Castform really rainy version, we have a Castform really rainy version, and we have a Castform sunny followed by even more rain version. These forms I think reflect the weather that I see us having in the Galar region extremely well, since, again, the Galar region is based on the UK. So I'm sure this region's weather will reflect the UK's weather as accurately as it can. Number 7. Galarian Stakataka. Wait, a Galarian Ultra Beast? Well, yeah, why not? We've seen legendaries get evolutions, so it's not like Game Freak are going to go buy the books all the time. Of all the Ultra Beasts, and even most legendaries, Stakataka has possibly the most potential in terms of Galarian forms in my opinion. So this is my idea for a Galarian Stakataka. This form is based on a castle, since the UK is full of castles, so it seemed very fitting. And it would be a pure rock type, since most castles aren't really made of metal, I think. Number 6. Farfetch'd. So the reason I'm choosing Farfetch'd of all Pokemon is mainly because something that was potentially leaked. There was a post that predicted a lot of things about Sword and Shield that have actually come true. And another thing that was in the post was an evolution for Farfetch'd, called Surfetch'd. Now if this is true, we don't know if Farfetch'd will also receive a Galarian form. This could be a situation like Cubone and Marowak, where only Marowak the evolution gets the regional variant. So, I decided to design my own Surfetch'd as Farfetch'd new Galarian evolution. And it looks like this. So the name Surfetch'd implies it's going to become a knight, so I decided to make it a knight that uses a leek as a weapon. It's going to be pure steel type as well. And if it does turn out that Surfetch'd is actually a thing, that would be awesome. Number 5 is Galarian Magikarp. So Magikarp, as we all know, is based on an Asian carp, but the fish that appear in the UK are obviously very different to these ones. so I came up with something that I think would fit the Galar region very nicely. My idea for a Galarian Magikarp would look something like this. Or is that Galarian Feebas? I don't know, it's one of the fish Pokemon. I should also mention that this fish Pokemon would also be a delicacy in Galar, and would most commonly be served with chips, making it perfect for the number 5 spot. And number 4 is Galarian Unknown Q. Yes, only Unknown Q, none of the others. And my idea for a Galarian Unknown Q is this. As you can see, it's really, really, really long. And as we all know, we Brits just love long queues. That's it. Next, number 3, Galarian Voltorb and Electrode. These Pokemon are usually seen by many as pretty lazily designed, so I feel Galarian forms for each of them would help them out a bit. So my idea for a Galarian Voltorb and Electrode would look something like this. The designs are based on popular balls in the UK. The typings would also be pure grass, since that's the surface that these Pokemon would most be played on. And number 2 is Galarian Celebi. Now the cool thing about Celebi is that it has the ability to time travel. Now you might be thinking, how would I make something as convoluted and confusing as time travel stick out in the Galar region? Well, my idea for a Galarian Celebi would be this. Not only can it time travel, but it also takes the form of a police box, since they're a very British thing that was pretty common around the 1920s. 2 for the price of 1. It would also be a psychic fairy type, since fairy is the type that everyone says Celebi should be, and to be honest, if the fairy type existed back in Gen 2, I'm pretty sure Celebi would have had the grass fairy typing instead. But even though this would be an amazing design for a Galarian Celebi, there's one other Galarian form I want to see just a bit more. And my number 1 Galarian form for Pokemon Sword and Shield is Galarian Nidoqueen. What would Galarian Nidoqueen look like? Well, hopefully something like this. Those are the 10 Galarian forms that I want to see most in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I hope you enjoyed my ideas for potential Galarian forms, and I'm willing to bet that Galarian forms I've showed off in my list are nothing like the Galarian forms that other people will come up for their lists. And if you did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos in the future, and until next time, thank you so much for watching.